Welcome back, everyone. My name is Kavika, and I am the Squared Circle Scholar, and today I will be doing my predictions for Backlash. First on the card, we will start with the main event for the Undisputed WWE Championship. Champion John Cena versus the hometown boy, Randy Orton. I'm just going to get straight to the point. I think John Cena is going to win this match. I don't think Randy Orton has any chance really at winning this. And yeah, people have said that this feud hasn't been built up enough, which I would totally disagree with. They have 20 years of history building to this feud. John Cena's final run, this is a callback to one of his earliest feuds in WWE. Plus, I don't see why they would build John Cena all the way to WrestleMania to beat Cody Rhodes in the main event at WrestleMania 41 for him to lose it 2 weeks later. I mean, yeah, I guess he's, got the record now 17 time, and this could lead to, an eventual Randy fighting for that spot, but I just don't see it happening. And I don't know if this was the plan anyway before Mania, before Kevin got hurt. Like, was Randy going to win at Mania against Kevin and then put him on the shelf, then to go against John Cena? Or is this more of a, we need a plan right now for Cena at Backlash? Although, I do think this is going to be a good match. Hopefully it's better than the one against Cody. Hopefully. But yeah, I think this is going to be a good, nice main event. It's not going to, be the best match on the card, I don't think, but it'll definitely be a good match. Next on the card, we have Gunther versus Pat McAfee. Before I say who I think is even going to win, Pat McAfee, the last two promos he's done have been absolutely amazing and has made him look like one of the best talkers in WWE, period. And I do like this. It's kind of taking Gunther out of, main event status, and it's not necessarily putting him somewhere else on the card, but it's giving him something new and refreshing where he's just not this guy who's like, I'm the champion and I'm just going to beat up whoever's in front of me. These two hate each other, especially Pat against Gunther with what Gunther did to Michael Cole. You don't touch Michael Cole like that, Gunther. But I also don't think this should be, a back and forth fight. I don't want it to be a squash match. I don't want that. I want him to have, a nice, decent match where Gunther will eventually tap out Pat McAfee. That is what is going to happen, and there's nothing he can do about it. Now, if it was like a hardcore match or something like that, I could see him having, more of a chance at winning, but yeah, this is just a regular singles match. Gunther's tapping out Pat probably in 10, maybe 15 minutes. Next on the card, for the Women's Intercontinental Championship, we have champion Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch. Just today, I was watching a Santi video where he was talking about how the women's tag team titles are only here to propel single stars. He used the example of Bianca, Jade, and Naomi, and how they use the tag team titles to prop up their entire feud, right? And now we have another example between Becky and Lyra. Sure, they only held the titles for one night. They were only a tag team for 2 nights. But that's exactly what it is. It just seems like WWE doesn't care about women's championships unless it's the WWE or World Variety, which is dumb. I'm going to go on a little rant here, but what's the point of having all these titles if we're not going to prop up the divisions, right? Like, take the SmackDown men's tag team titles, for example. They're killing it. Why can't we have that for the women's tag team titles? Look at the United States Championship on the men's side. Why can't we have that for the women's side on the Intercontinental or United States Champion side? I mean, Chelsea Green lost her title to Zelina Vega, and they barely had a feud. It was so microscopic, you probably missed it. And now this feud, they just use the tag team titles to make this feud for seemingly No reason. Anyways, I think Becky Lynch is going to win. I think it's not to make Lyra seem like she's got to climb back up or anything, but more to solidify this championship as something somebody might want. Like on the men's side, it's, you know, it's an amazing thing when you win the Intercontinental Championship. It's the workhorse title. Just about every single great on the men's side in WWE has held that title, and I think they want to make that the workhorse title for the women as well. And I guess Becky is like their best bet at making it that because of her longevity and everything she's done with the company, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I'm not really looking forward to this match. I mean, they got me so hyped with the Lyra versus Bayley match, and then they just threw away all those plans they had for this, a one-night show where they won the titles and they lost the title. It's just dumb. Becky's winning. On to the next match. For the men's Intercontinental Championship, we have champion Dominic Mysterio versus Penta. This match between Dominic and Penta, I think, is extremely well built. And I know what people might say, but there's interference everywhere. You have the Judgment Day who keeps screwing over Penta, and now you have Chad Gable screwing over Penta. I want to talk about the two competitors in this match. First, you have Penta, the newcomer, the new guy. He's the new guy. And he's fantastic at wrestling. And he's got, I wouldn't say his character's non-existent, but he's got good enough of a character where it resonates with the audience. And on the other side, you have Dominic Mysterio. And he's not the greatest wrestler in the world. Not saying he's bad by any means necessary, but his character work is so much better than his wrestling. And the thing is you have a great wrestler versus a decent wrestler, and a great character versus a decent character. And I feel like these two can pull the best out of each other in both of those dynamics. And with saying that, Dominic Mysterio is going to retain his title. Not because Penta doesn't deserve it or anything. I just feel like they're going to have something else for Penta, and it has to do nothing with the Judgment Day, even though they'll probably try and interfere in the match, but everything to do with Chad Gable. See, I think Chad Gable is going to interfere in the match, and this is slowly going to build a feud between Penta versus El Grande Americano. And I hope I'm right, because I would love to see like a mask versus mask fight between those two. I think that would be really fun. But yeah, Dominic's winning, and I don't know who his next opponent would be. I really can't think of anybody off the top of my head. Maybe Finn Balor. Maybe Carlito. Maybe JD McDonough. That would be an interesting one. And for the final match of the video, for the Men's United States Championship, we have champion Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre versus LA Knight versus Damian Priest. This little mid-card division that they've built so far for the United States Championship is really fun in certain aspects. I think Jacob Fatu needs to hold the title longer. You've built him up to be this like beast of a man. We can't have him losing his first title defense. That just can't happen. Even if he's the one not getting pinned. If somebody else pins somebody else, we just can't be having that. We can't have that, Chief. And I think it's not going to happen because Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest, they still are button heads and everything. And even Damian Priest and LA Knight are button heads. So I feel like Damian Priest is just going to get screwed over by Drew McIntyre and LA Knight, which is going to lead LA Knight and Drew McIntyre fighting amongst each other because they want to beat up Damian just the same as the other, giving Jacob Fatu ample opportunity to beat up whoever's left, pretty much. Now, I do think this match will be match of the night. I think this is going to outshine everything because I love Jacob's work. I love Drew's work. I love LA Knight's work. and I love Damian Priest's work. And I feel like all these guys have good enough chemistry to really put on something special. We saw what Jacob and LA Knight could do at WrestleMania. We saw what Damian and Drew could do at WrestleMania. And just think of putting those two matches together. Although those two matches at WrestleMania weren't the best on that card, they were still great matches. Easily some of the best of WrestleMania. Jacob Fatu is going to solidify himself as champion and build this mid-card division over on SmackDown. Anyways, those are my predictions for Backlash. Let me know in those comments down below what you think. Am I right? Am I wrong? Is Randy Orton going to win his 15th world title? I don't think so. You might think so. Put it down there below. And while you're down there, if you're actually this far into the video, you might as well hit the subscribe button. And I'm pretty sure you enjoyed it, so you might as well hit the like button. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.